Really show this and define what I mean by the character, I want to look at this piece of art. This is by Steve Rude. This was a cover that he did for The World's Finest by Dave Gibbons. And I love the way he's portrayed Batman and Superman as two sides of the same coin here. Not opposites, not yin and yang, but two sides of the same coin. They are the same purpose, the same object. They're just two different aspects of it. And I'll read you a article I once wrote about this piece. Superman, confident in the warm and safe sunlight, stands atop an eagle, which stands for justice, and sends forth doves, which stand for peace. Batman stands at night in front of the artificial rays of the bat signal. So we've gone from sun to bat signal. The bat signal shines in the same manner as the sun. They're both sources of light, both shining in the same direction. And the sun even surrounds it on top and bottom. The sun is enveloping it. It's part of the same purpose. It's part of a light source. Batman as a hero is a subtle balance which many writers and artists fail to keep, plunging him into the darkness of an almost anti-hero. With the composition of this painting, Rude shows Batman to be carrying on the same work as Superman, only at night and in the nighttime form. For Batman, the Eagle of Justice is a gargoyle, and we see that in the painting. We see the eagle below Superman and then the gargoyle next to Batman. Batman is the Gothic protector against a superstitious lot. His doves, his symbols of peace, are bats then, winged creatures able to move in the dark. Batman and Superman aren't so different. Rude shows them in this piece to be unified by light. They're both sources of light. Superman radiates the warmth of light, by example, and Batman shines light into the neglected corners of a dark city. They're two different settings, Metropolis and Gotham, and that's why they are fulfilling the same purpose, but necessarily in two different manners. And this is a great lesson. This is why we need both of those characters in their iconic form, because some of us are more inclined towards Superman. We like the sun and feel led to share its warmth. But others, and even all of us at some time or another, have those Batman moments in which we need to confront a darkness that simply won't respond to warmth. In those moments, it's important not to succumb to the darkness we're battling in the absence of the sun. Remember that we're still shining light, even if at some time that light has to be a bat signal and not the sunlight. And what I'm getting at there is what I touched on already. That's the integration of the shadow. All of the darkness within you, all of the reactions and feelings and rage that you would keep hidden for fear that you might lose control of it. If you keep boxing it away, it will rear its head when you're provoked enough, and then you'll go too far. It will rule you. However, if you integrate it into yourself, if you examine it, feel those feelings, act upon them to the measure that it's justified to be acted on, then you don't become the Punisher. You don't fly off the handle and kill people. You don't go overboard in your reactions once you're pushed too far. Instead, you become something far more profound and far stronger, which is Batman. In control, dealing out justice, not revenge. This is Batman, the integrated shadow, going into settings in which there is no higher system to rely on for justice. You have to stand up. You have to be the one to show a little darkness for the sake of the light. And I'll end this with a wonderful scene from a Carl Kessel World's Finest that I've also mentioned before. And the premise behind this piece is that Batman and Superman have been reuniting once a year, teaming up once a year because of some stuff that happened when they first met and whatnot. And one of these years is when Batman is just recruiting Barbara Gordon to be Batgirl. So he wants to get Superman's opinion of her. So Superman shows up in Gotham City and he meets up with Batgirl first and helps her fight these bad guys or whatever. And he's flying her to go meet up with Batman. And he says to her that, I'm surprised you chose to emulate Batman with your look and your name and all of that, because you're so bubbly and bright, and he's a little dark. And Barbara Gordon tells Superman, Batman's not dark at all. He just has to look dark. He has to appear dark because he's fighting the darkness. But in reality, he's the one shining the light. He's showing us a way out. He's showing us something else to be than this lawless, lack of control, pushed too far, hair trigger reactions, the chaos of a city without solid law enforcement. He's showing another way, another controlled, integrated way to be. That That is the most profound character of Batman. It's so easy just to let him devolve into an anti-hero, just to let him devolve into gratuitous violence because, hey, don't we all do that? No, that's an aspirational nature of Batman that is far too often lost. And it's been lost so many times at this point that I fear most people just don't even think of the character that way anymore. And it's sad because that's a profound and useful character to have in our social consciousness and in our personal psychology. We need Superman. We need the warmth and the security and the ability and the inspiration to be Superman when we can be Superman. But life isn't always filled with Superman moments. Sometimes it's necessary to be Batman. And if you're not taught how to integrate, how to keep self-control and be Batman, you end up devolving into chaos, violence, overreactions, and so forth.